We're fifth time troubleshooting about, shuffling down to help you out. We're so good at fixing things, we played football without 5 rings. No, we're just strutting for calm, strutting our stuff cause we're the bomb. This will only take a minute, we won't give you trouble. We just want to show you our Cyber Shack Shuffle. I'm Emmett Durr and I concur. Cyber Shack's the best, that's for sure. We're so good, we got no weakness, blowing your mind with our technical genius. I'm a comm technician, I can fix any issues. Your email, your screen, no need for tissues. Don't make a fuss, don't cause a scuffle. Let me show you that Cyber Shack Shuffle. I'm spitting the truth, I'ma tell you what's whack. You're not coming to the Cyber Shack, so get here on the door and let me show you our Cyber Shack Shuffle. Cyber Shack is the place to go, and I'll tell you why. Listen to my flow. We can help you fix any complication, no matter how hard the situation. We install antivirus and active client. Make sure your computer's compliant. Get your groove on and move the muscle. Come on down for the Cyber Shack Shuffle.
All right, you can bring that down, Jeremy.
I'm just saying. Let's. Oh yeah, there we go.
So here's the thing. I don't think I'm really mad at that guy. When I watched it, I initially got so mad that my skin started to hurt a little bit. You ever get like that?
It's more of a skin crawl, not a hurt.
Yeah, I was a little pissed. Then I thought maybe he's just being funny. So of course, I look and I think he was up. I forgot where that was now. He was somewhere at some air base, and he was loosely being serious when he did that. Like,
if that was serious, then I'm a heart attack.
It's like,
get it? Serious as a heart attack.
It's like when in high school you had a teacher that was funny. It was dad jokes, right? The teacher might have been funny, but you knew, like, I don't know. So that's supposed to be funny. Look at guys. Look at it's either TMR or we're gonna have that guy singing now. I think TMR is gonna take the cake. I
mean, you could make it better, but the only way to do that is with good listening.
I don't know why they make it so easy. The Air Force. I mean, listen, guys. We're gonna. This is despite the fact that we have a Marine guest coming on the show. The beginning of this will be very Air Force heavy, because after I saw that and that video went viral, I decided that I need to at least highlight the potential badassery of the Air Force. Because we do. I mean, I know.
If that's what you call badass,
I know. But listen. We have chunks of steel that we hurl through space.
That's fair.
And we strap ourselves to it. And it's like I was just talking to EOD Frank at your party this past weekend. Don't worry, guys. We'll get into the introduction and all that in a minute. This is how we roll this week. And he was talking about how people ask him all the time about dismantling bombs and how stressful it is. And he's like, honestly, if the bomb goes off, then it's no longer my job. I mean, it's no longer my problem.
Did its job. And
that was to him, it would be, he might see a flash and then he's liquefied or whatever. We're flying airplanes low level. So we would fly overseas in Iraq. We would fly at maybe 125 feet. That's the unclassified level that we would fly at. And we figured that at 275 knots, I can't remember now. It was like you had 2 seconds, maybe 1.5 ish to have it register. Like, oh shit, we're not making it out of this. And that always freaked me out. That always, like, I would rather an SA or surface to air missile SA-7 just hit the cockpit and then kind of go out like Frank did. I would not want to know for a few seconds.
Could you just imagine being in that big old tube of steel?
No.
Or even on the ground and just going, well,
dude, that's it.
That
was one of my biggest mental issues. My biggest mental health issues was, and you guys in the military probably can relate to this. There was a name for it. My therapist told me whatever the name was. You're like, I'd be going to bed at night and my brain would put me in the scenario that the plane was crashing. And so I would live it, and I would and I didn't want to. What do they call it? Intrusive thoughts? I'm like, no. La, 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 la. But my brain would be like, hey, guess what? I bet you it would sound like this. I bet you the co-pilot would scream like this. I bet you, and it's like, God damn. I eventually, this comes up a lot on the show, I guess, is the
so you're just laying in bed hearing,
yeah. Yeah, terrible stuff. Listen, I agree. Okay, we already got into the whole Air Force thing, but let me tell you a story about the time I went on a Navy base. We flew into, it might have been Pensacola, and this is a true story. We landed and we went over to base ops, and I'm asking, I don't know, I don't remember, it's been so long, I don't remember all the lingo and everything, but we're at base ops and I'm asking somebody something, and he goes, oh, that's that guy over there. And I look across the room and I see this guy, politically correct, will say special needs guy pushing a broom. So I'm thinking, good for him. He's out doing his job. He's earning his keep. So I go over to ask him, probably like where to park something or whatever. And as I approach him, the closer I get, I realized he was an E3. This guy.
So he's telling my old story.
Yeah. What, did you have a story like that? He was an E3, and I thought he was a janitor.
So I remember for a short time they were issuing coveralls to use in the motor pool and around engineers just to keep your canvas from getting dirty.
Did someone think you were special needs?
So, but you look like a janitor because you had the mop and broom and the whole jumpsuit thing. So I had this gunny come running up. He's like, hey, you okay? You missed a spot. And I just look at him with this dumbfounded look, and you could totally tell. I'm not trying to use the hard word, but you could totally tell. He looked at me like,
special needs.
You're special. You're special. I'm like,
hey, if you're watching the show right now, chime in the comments. I'm getting a weird feedback on the sound. Just let us know if the sound is good, if it's too low, if it's too high, or whatever. Jeremy, keep your eye on the green room for our guest. Welcome, everybody, to the 21 Gun Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Sullivan. We have, look, it goes the other way. We have producer Jeremy over here running all the behind-the-scenes stuff. We are the official podcast of the Irreverent Warriors. Head over to irreverentwarriors.com to check out any upcoming hikes that we have. We'll go over those in just a minute. Going through my notes here. Thank you all for watching the show. I actually have that in my notes. Thank you all for watching the show. God, see, I got ahead of myself, and now I'm kind of lost here. Hold on. Oh, no. So in tonight's guest, everyone, hold on one second.
He needs this more than you do.
It's been a long day. I'm behind on my notes, but it's okay. Embrace this.
I have that effect on people.
Tonight's guest is Jared Reagan. Is Reagan. See? God damn it. Is he even in the green room yet?
No.
I am.
Mission Essential Gear. I need a link. Oh, yeah. All right.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I didn't send him the link. Let him know. Anyway, so
Kevin.
Reagan Roberts is the CEO of Mission Essential Gear. Mission Essential Gear was founded in August of 2019. I'm going to let him get into the gist of what he does, but it's basically, what is this thing in the Marines? Thul? T-H-U-L-S? It's like a booklet.
We just call them books.
He'll tell it. There's some sort of thing they sell. He's got a really cool story, really successful career. Your typical went from being a grunt to, the typical veteran story, going from grunt, becoming a firefighter, getting his bachelor's degree. I was talking to him this week. He's like, I don't even know if I have any time because I'm still trying to get my EMT certification. The dude's got a ton of shit going on. But yeah, I figured we'd bring him on. He's over in Jacksonville. We do a hike there in, what is it, next week?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's April 10th, and this piece of ice exploded, and the whiskey went in my eye, so stand by.
Today is a Charlie Foxtrot, as we say.
This is why we need the whiskey, just because it goes down nice and smooth.
Yeah. So something else I want to bring up. Here's the new setup. I got more room now. I can stretch out.
He gave me the casting couch.
Jeremy can stretch out. And I think what we're going to do for local people and not so local people,
I miss you, Kevin.
we are going to, there's another couch way over there. We're actually going to bring guests in. We're going to be interviewing the EOD Warrior Foundation, and I'm going to have, I think Frank the Tank is going to come on and sit. He's going to be he won't be the first because we had Paul Cardenas. Yeah. Yep. He'll be the second live studio guest. So we're going to start working more on that. So if you're local and you want to be in the studio, like I wish Reagan, I didn't know he was right over in Jacksonville because we could have brought him in the studio, but we'll see. Upcoming hikes. Where's my list here? Dude, I must have just deleted a big chunk of my notes because it's all jacked up and it's totally throwing me off. So whatever.
So I spend 1 week away.
Next week, I have no idea who the guest is because it's not on there. In 2 weeks, I think we're going to take a week off the show. It all depends. Jeremy, if you want to do a mini show, Maybe bring on some coordinators, and then I'll hop on from Texas. I'm going to be down in Texas in 2 weeks. That's April 8th. I think that would be kind of cool.
You can do that.
I'm not sure where I'm going to be on the 8th. It's an hour back, so it'll be 7 p.m. I mean, my kids are younger. They'll probably be asleep.
Screw you. You left me. Now I'm leaving you.
Yeah. So, and any of you who are down in Texas, let me know. We're going to be in the Houston area. Then we're going to head over to the Boerne, San Antonio area. Then we're going to be up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm supposed to see, like, Jack Mandeville said he would take me out to San Antonio. Now, I don't know if I can turn that down. I don't know if I can turn down.
When Jack Mandeville says, come hang out and I'll show you around, you show up.
You have to do it, right? It's like, sorry, kids, sorry, wife. I might be in jail in the morning, but I'm going to hang out with Jack.
I'm catching shit. Adrienne, thanks. Jeremy, you're not allowed to leave him alone anymore. Yeah, you're right.
What are you talking about? Oh, because of last week? Yeah. Hey, listen, this week's been a clusterfuck so far. Okay, so even if he's here, which direction? There he is. Even if he's here, these things can happen. So yeah, we'll do a mini show on the 8th. What else? Head over to, I already said that, reverentwarriors.com for everything IW. Pull up number 3. Everything IW. Get yourself some gear. Get yourself some 22 Sierra. Oh, I just was showing it here. Do the picture in picture. No, the where it's the little picture. Yeah, there I am in the little corner. See, get yourself some dark humor coffee, 22 Sierra. You can buy it over at Reverent Warriors, or you can buy it directly from 22 Sierra. A portion of the proceeds goes back to Reverent Warriors. That's awesome. Patrick Little is a fine, upstanding young man. What else? Get yourself some Shilky shorts. We still have about a week. We have about a week left for the 20% off all fanny packs. Use the promo code Fanny March 2021.
Get your fanny.
FANNY March 22. Did we talk about this last week? Or no, you weren't here. I don't remember if I talked about this. Is it now? Listen, if I'm behind the curve on this, feel free to laugh. But is it British? Because fanny in Great Britain is, as we say in the medical world, the vagina. That's what my kids used to say because they couldn't say. So is it a fanny pack because it hangs in front of the? Because in Britain, that's
it's a man satchel. Get it right.
Well, no, yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, in Britain, fanny is like the P word here in America, I believe. Now, I know we have some listeners.
It's like a PH person now.
Well, no, it's fanny.
That was total sarcasm.
Oh, okay, I got it. I don't pick up on sarcasm.
Well, the dead stare.
So I'm wondering, is fanny pack because it hangs over the fanny? I have no idea. In America, your fanny is your backside. So it must confuse a lot of people that it's not hanging on the front. Upcoming hikes, March 27th, Jacksonville. Do you know what? He said, I just saw Matthew James Reeves say,
you Matt, bro.
I just saw him say that in 2 days it's Jacksonville, but no, that's incorrect. It's Jacksonville Beach, Florida. April 10th is Tulsa, Oklahoma. April 10th is Jacksonville, North Carolina. See, Matthew? Get the right Jacksonville. So March 27th, Jacksonville Beach. We had, if you want to know the story of the Jacksonville Beach hike, head over to last week's episode. I interviewed, if I remember his name because I deleted half my notes here. Stay tuned for a big announcement from Mr. O'Malley over at Vet TV. Over the next week or so, Vet TV will be announcing their official dollar for dollar Irreverent Warriors fundraiser contribution. So we kind of had an idea of what it was, but we don't know the exact number. So he's actually going to present us a big check and all that stuff. So that's going to be pretty cool. I can't wait to see, because guys, it's a huge chunk of money, and if you are on the coordination side of things, you realize that these dollars literally save lives. They save lives. So this is going to be huge. I have no idea how much it's going to be, but stay tuned for that. Believe it or not, after I stumbled through that entire beginning, I don't have anything else left. Do you have anything, Jeremy?
No. Other than that, those who are in the local North Carolina area for April, Jackson. Donnie O'Malley might actually be at that hike. So
is he really?
If you want to rub on a leg a little bit, with permission.
I told you I'm going to be flying in that day. I'm really disappointed. Eagle Rare is not a sponsor, so we'll put the bottle over there. I'm really disappointed. I really want to go to that hike. I have no idea what's my first hike's going to be. No idea.
I didn't until you ordered the ticket.
Oh yeah, that'll be. Oh, so that's your first hike of this year? Okay, well you can go for me.
Moving to my house.
Take John. John can use my ticket.
Yeah, no, John won't be here. He'll be diving. No, he's adventure race. Can't do that.
Oh, well, that's cool. Awesome. Well, then I guess let's see what's going around. The AOR. This first one. Pull up number 4. I'm not going to play my stinger.
No.
What is that?
For example, than an officer in southern Arkansas. Here's CBS's Omar.
Here, you can just mute it and pull it down. Yeah, that's it. Just kind of skip ahead a little bit. I really wanted that to be like a moving picture.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Yeah, it was working. There you go. And just kind of play it, keep the volume off. And okay, so this guy here, right? Operator's got to operate. And it's no different if you're 31 or in this case, 91 years old. I think a lot of us in the military, when we get out, we feel, what's that word? Neutered, right?
Yeah, cut off.
Yeah, you feel neutered. Like you're not. That's why so many of us go into contract work or police work or even fire. Our guest tonight's a fireman. I know we brought him up twice already. Let's do it again. Matthew James Reeves is a fireman. Everyone, it's something that we like to do.
And actor.
Well, this guy, LC Buckshot Smith, dude, you can't have a cooler name. You cannot have a cooler. In fact, look there he is with a shotgun right there in that picture. How freaking cool is that? He is the oldest police officer in the state of Arkansas. He's 91 years old. He still walks the beat of his hometown 4 days a week. He was the oldest rookie in his town at 80 years old, 80-year-old rookie. He said, this badge and gun don't make you a police officer. You got to respect the people. He earned his popularity by working more than 4 decades with the Wichita County Sheriff's Department, where he went by his childhood name, Buckshot. After 46 years as a deputy, he retired for only 5 months. He said he didn't have any fun during that retirement because I don't hunt, I don't fish. He carries a firearm, but he says he never has to use it. He knows your mom. This is the best part because where I grew up back in 1952, he knows your mama, he knows your grandma, he knows your family. So if you screw up, he's gonna find out. He says he took more people home than he's taken to jail. They asked when his end of watch is when he dies. So they asked when he's going to retire. He said he'll retire when the good Lord tells him to. Growing up, neighbor cops, that's what it was all about. You knew your cops. They were part of the community. They were like,
oh, I knew.
Yeah. And, I have a funny story about that. But yeah, and I think, hey, what's up, Gus? Obviously police work is a big issue right now. There's a lot of shit going down and they're trying to figure out, how to fix it and whatever. There's an argument to be made whether it even needs to be fixed, but we won't go down that. I think if there's a place to fix it, you get more cops on beats like this. You get people part of the community. You get your cop is like when I grew up, I knew my school bus driver by his first name. He was my school bus driver for like 8 years. So I think, here we are in the 21st century. We're talking about 21st century policing and all that. And this guy is almost 100 years old and he gets it. And he probably does more for the community just by knowing their names and driving around and stuff like that.
Actually, there's Matthew James Reeves says the oldest one in the country is right here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. He's 93 and usually shows up along our route with a lot of traffic. Officer XY Brown.
No, listen, I think I've got an idea. Cage fight. Buckshot versus what's his name?
XY Brown.
I would spend money on that.
He's going to find out what chromosome you really need after the fight.
That's right. Want to hear my story about the runner? I had a what do you call that? Bolo? I had a bolo on me. I was on the lam. The police were looking for me and I was hiding. This is a true story. I would not make this up. Want to hear it's a quick one?
I do.
So when I was four, I lived right outside of Boston, real busy area. And we had this like little steep driveway and I was running circles around one of the cars. So in those days, gosh, if I was 4, this would have been 98. In those days, the cars were big. I'm joking. Obviously, no one picked up on the 98 thing. So I'm running around and I slip on some gravel, some sand, and I slide out into a road. And this car, this big old, looked like a Chevy Nova, slams on its brakes. Car behind him rear ends the guy, smashes the back of his car. A car behind him hits, smashes the back of his car. So I cause a 3-car pileup. I'm convinced everybody's dead.
You mother.
And I'm convinced that I caused it, which I did. I caused it. So I run and I hide up a tree. And the cops show up. And I can see them. And I'm like, and I see them talking to my mom. And they're like, she's giving them a description. My mom's ratting me out. This is awful. I was scared shitless. So they turn and they look and they saw me up the tree. And I realized I got spotted. So I jumped down and I took off like a bat out of hell. And no one chased me. I thought they would. And apparently I snuck in the side door of the house. I went upstairs in my room and I covered myself in my stuffed animals.
So I actually have a similar story, not as cool.
Well, they couldn't find me. So they thought I ran away, and they had cops, the whole neighborhood. Everybody was looking for Kevin Sullivan. I was wanted, and they found me. They found me up in my room, and
we got caught real fast. My
Mhm.
twin brother and I, Josh, if you're in the chat, you know exactly what happened. Married in California. We're probably 9 or 10 years old, hiding around. So our house on the corner, the street view, whatever. Car driving by, not a big deal. We were throwing water balloons at a car. Hit an off-duty cop with his wife and parents in the back seat. They almost hit a pole. They stop. I think we actually cracked the windshield. Turn around. My brother and I go bolting to the house, which is right on the corner of the street as they're coming in. My mom screaming, "What are you screaming about? What are you screaming?" We're like, let us in, let us in. She goes, "You're going to jail, you're going to jail." And then my mom left us out there to get arrested.
Holy shit.
Didn't give a shit. She was like, "Well, you fucked up. You pay the consequences."
Holy crap. Mine was a little more benign than that. Mine's like a cute kid story. Yours is borderline abuse. So moving right along, there's going to be a John Chapman movie coming out. If you guys aren't familiar with John Chapman, he's the Air Force Medal of Honor recipient back in 2002. He's the first Air Force recipient since the Vietnam War. Now, there's two reasons why I'm excited about this. One of them, he's going to be played by Jake Gyllenhaal, and he's just dreamy.
Oh yeah, I just heard about that.
Yeah, he's a dreamy guy. I don't dislike Jake Gyllenhaal. That sounded really not straight.
That sounded Air Force.
It's just
Oh,
they call that. What do they call that? It's a man crush or something.
Man
like that.
crush, yeah.
But earlier, do you remember last year? Last Full Measure came out, and that was about an Air Force PJ that received the Medal of Honor for his actions in Vietnam. So that leads me to want to bring up the fact that Air Force Special Operations are badass individuals. They really, really are. If you guys don't know about the Air Force Special Operations, just go on YouTube. They have the PJ specifically have the longest Spec Ops pipeline in the military. I forget how long it is, and they have a higher attrition rate than the Navy SEALs. They're just I can't wait to see this.
Is that because they're not as bad? I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Pull up. So the story of John Chapman is really interesting because he was. You can fast forward a little bit. This is long. I just want to kind of show you what's going on. I'm going to turn the volume off on it. But you probably heard of the Battle of Roberts Ridge. A Navy SEAL had fallen out of the back of a Chinook, I believe, and so. His team, or it was John Chapman and a SEAL team, went up to recover the body. That's where that green circle is right there. I believe there's a body. So they're going to get him. This was if you don't know anything about the Battle of Roberts Ridge, it was a unbelievable, huge losses, Americans. It was just a terrible situation.
The whole unit got ambushed, right?
Well, they landed, and so John Chapman sees right there what he's looking, right at the center, top of the screen, that like little outcropping of trees right there. There's a fortified emplacement, and there's two Taliban fighters in there. So he charges them. Kills them both. Takes the bunker. At this point he's mortally wounded. He's shot in the gut, and he just continues to fight. He continues to cover for those guys below him, the rest of the SEAL team. Air Force guy, man, dude, this makes me so proud. So he's mortally wounded. The SEALs you can fast forward a little bit. They kind of go up on an outcrop. That's on the left. There is an outcropping. I can see the muzzle flashes. So they're up there. Someone tosses a grenade. It injures one of the SEALs. It actually happens any minute here. Injures one of the SEALs on the left, the guy on the top who's firing. Yeah, him. He gets injured, falls down off that crop, and they medevac him. And they think that Chapman's dead at this point. So yeah, you can see him falling down the side of that little ridge there. So they take off. Chapman's there by himself. He wakes up. Somehow he wakes up. And they say, by the way, that first charge in taking the bunker and saving his team, or keeping his team from getting shot at, was the first Medal of Honor. Now, this is weird because they say he earned 2 Medal of Honors, but I only see one, so I don't understand the intricacies of how that happens. But he earned his first Medal of Honor by taking out that bunker. Then he passes out. He wakes up again. A Chinook comes in to rescue all of them. The Chinook gets hit by an RPG. It crash lands. Soldiers who are piling out the back, I guess they were a Ranger Regiment, are piling out the back. They're getting just picked off. I don't remember how many guys were killed and wounded in this engagement, but it was a ton. So he laid down fire. He was just like, fuck this. And he just helped out his brothers to the point where he was mortally wounded. And that's where he won, or he earned his second Medal of Honor. So I think that's going to be a great movie. They made a book called... Alone at Dawn, fantastic book. In fact, I have I was approved for I almost said special needs. What do you call it? Service dog. And I told her they're breeding it. So I told her, I'm like, it needs to be named needs to be named John Chapman after this freaking awesome hero. So
you want to name Steve?
No, not at all. Well, unless it's after Steve McQueen. What time is it? 8:26. I saw that we have our guy in.
Yes.
I see he's got 2 cameras up. What's the one on the left?
That's the other one just for OBS.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
We'll go through that.
Let me think. Anything else? I do want to go. We got a couple more minutes. I want to bring this up too. Pull up number 7. I'm driving the other day with my kids, and I have to stop my car. Is that number 7?
No, that's not.
No, number 7. It looks like an L, but it's upside down. Nope, that's not number 7.
No, I took the list down because.
Oh, I think.
LARPing?
No, it's my Instagram.
Oh,
page.
yours.
Yeah. Okay, this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this happened. This happened only a week ago, a little less. I see this guy. Walking.
Text. The long walk of shame.
Look at this guy. Yeah, that was kind of funny. So I see this guy, play it again, just walking along, and I'm like, what the hell?
It's right down the street from here, yeah.
So then I start going down a rabbit hole. I start thinking that maybe he's a LARPer. Have you ever heard of LARPing?
Oh, my little brother does LARPing now.
Does he really?
Yeah.
When you say little brother, you mean your twin that's like 2 minutes
younger?
younger?
James.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a loser.
Remember how we were talking about... Now, listen. Personal liberty. Here, pull up number 9. I think it's 9. It's probably number 8. It's the first one you had there. Now, I don't want to make fun of these people. You can keep that sound on because it's worth it. Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Oh, come
Screw
on.
you.
Give it a second.
Because I'm not bad.
I'm all about personal liberty, right? If this makes you happy, then fine. That's what you do.
Oh, I'm not knocking it.
Yeah, but it's still freaking weird. Now I feel bad because this kid here has he's got Asperger's, but it helps him break out of his shell. But I'm looking at these people, and they take it so serious. Like they become the character, and I'm like, what is it? You can take that down. Is it because people are lacking? I don't know, dragons to slay in the modern world?
It kind of goes off of the
they need something. They need something.
For fantasy thing. It also comes to those who do into video game, World of Warcraft. They get into fantasy life. And I used to be like that. I actually used to cosplay and do this stuff like that. So
he just used to fantasize all day long. Fantasizing. That's weird. That's some weird stuff.
I like to dress up and do that shit with my brother and stuff like that. And then I realized I had to grow up. And do adult things. I personally, I think it's just people have lack of adversity in their lives. You work at a computer all day. Life gets boring. Human beings, remember, 200,000 years, human beings had to fend every single minute of every single day. Like, have you seen that TV show Naked and Afraid? I have.
I love that show.
In the hopes to see a boob.
I'm addicted to it. What's funny is gentlemen at our age have seen plenty of boobs in our lives. And with the hopes of seeing one, we would watch 16 hours of Naked and Afraid because who knows? Who knows?
Just wants to see naked people on television and justify it because I do too.
But yeah, human beings used to every day was a struggle, and now now life is so easy that people need that. I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up because I saw a LARPer. Oh, yeah. And then this last one. So I wanted to make fun of them, pull this video up. Check out these maniacs. Speaking of LARPing, again, remember I told you I went down a rabbit hole. Look at these guys. Those, that's metal swords. These guys are using metal swords.
They're dull as shit, by the way. But yeah, they hurt, though.
They're beating the shit out of each other. Like these guys, look around the ring. There's blood all over the ring. You see that? This is like legit MMA meets
medieval.
That's crazy. How does someone not accidentally get?
Shall take my bullet on your face.
What if you fall on that sword? You just get impaled.
That's called seppuku in Japan. But yeah,
but there's a name for this.
When you fall on your sword.
Right.
Close enough.
Dude, isn't this insane? I wish this existed where I was because I would go there and just watch. And I just made fun of LARPing technically.
Oh yeah, hit the shield, hit the sword. Look at that. He's just just bounce you and punch you.
Punching you in the face. I mean, I guess there weren't. I don't know. I thought that was insane. pretty crazy stuff. So there's my rabbit hole. There's everything going on in the AOR this week. I think we covered most of it.
We do have Reagan up and ready to go.
Awesome. Let's bring him on.
Reagan.
There he is. What's up, brother? Uh-oh, do we have a lag? We don't have.
Well, yeah, we can't.
It's like you know when you have a flip book and you flip through. Yeah.
You're lagging a little bit, so we can't hear the audio or the video.
Your frame rate is about 3 frames a minute.
Take off the Pornhub.
Worst case scenario, if he can hear, I don't know if he can hear. Worst case scenario, just pull up your iPhone. Pull up your iPhone, follow that link, and then we'll play up in a minute. While we wait for him to come back on, this is why I do show prep. Want to see a sommelier?
Hold on. You did show prep, and we fucked it. We totally fucked the pooch at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, you don't have to rub when you screw things up. It happens. So, Fort Drum has banned energy drinks, if you can believe that. They've actually banned energy drinks. So I thought, Angry Cops, I still got to get him on the show. But
there he is.
Let's see. Give us a test.
Test 1, 2, 3. I can't hear your porn in the background.
Can you hear us?
I can't hear him.
No. Shite.
We'll just keep him here until he...
Yeah. So let's talk about that, and then once he can talk. So Fort Drum bans energy drinks, which how do you get away with that? How do you get away with that being a military...
Yeah. Don't sell it.
There he is. Yeah,
we
can hear you.
There
we can hear you.
Gotcha, buddy.
Welcome aboard, Mr. Reagan. Let's start with the beginning. Not bad. It's been so. I feel bad. I don't know how much of the show you've been watching, but typically it goes. Actually, last week when I went by myself, this show went a lot smoother than it is tonight. It's live. It's live, and shit goes sideways, and you just got to kind of roll with the punches.
I was hoping for that show prep, so that way I could use all this fancy equipment I have right here. You know.
I know, dude. What happened is, it's sometimes your camera talking to OBS can slow things down, and then the frame rate gets all jacked up, and then it's a mess. iPhone works fantastic. In fact, that's what our main 2 cameras are. 2 iPhones. Where'd you grow up, man?
So I originally grew up in Fort Worth, Texas. You know where that's at?
Yeah, I'm heading down there in a couple weeks.
Dallas-Fort Worth area, man. I spent my whole life there, and then 18 years old, I went to MCRD San Diego. So
I'm so sorry.
So to ask Marines this, right? You guys obviously have a rivalry, Hollywood Marines versus what do they call East Coast Marines?
Real Marines.
Now my question is,
I don't even know what they call them.
My question is why.
That's the they say for the most part.
My question is why. Why is it just for rivalry, or is the training really that much more weak out on the West Coast?
Honestly, I think it's unnecessary banter. Personally,
yeah.
They want to get us amped up. You know, they train us to be like the most like hardest dick motherfuckers on the earth.
Yeah.
But, you know,
isn't that like just part of being in the military though? Like 0311s hate 0314s, and like everybody has a rivalry against everyone else.
I think as a jarhead, it's a little, and he'll attest to this, there's a certain level of pride of where you went to boot camp and what you've done compared to like, oh, I was in the Army and then we did this and that. Whereas you have the Marine Corps that's only trained in 2 spots, whereas Air Force, Navy, etc. they're trained in multiple different locations. You have Hollywood Marines because of Hollywood,
right?
And you have Parris Island,
right,
where the original boot camp started. So that's where the banter comes from. But then you kind of nitpick and you pick like Mount Motherfucker, then San Fleas, and et cetera, et cetera.
So then you made it out obviously to Jacksonville, North Carolina, Camp Lejeune. I'm joking. And you stayed in North Carolina. Why did you stay here? Do you miss Texas at all? And I'm asking this question kind of personally because we might be moving there very soon.
Oh, really? Okay. So absolutely nothing to do with Texas. I love Texas. It's beautiful. It's great. I just got really lucky with my opportunities out here, you know, being right next to the base, getting the government contracts.
Sure.
Hand in hand every day. And then obviously working here at the fire department, a local one. I'm not going to say who it is, but I work with the local fire department. You know, I got a full-time gig 5 days after I got out. So
nice.
I can't complain doing that full-time while running this company.
And for the listeners, Reagan is the founder of Mission Essential Gear. And we'll get into that in a minute. I think, so I like having entrepreneurs on for a couple of reasons. The big one being, one of the biggest stumbling blocks in the military is going from active duty to the civilian world, right? Alarm goes off day one and you're like, what do I do now? What do I do now? Folks who have either made a business, gone to school, whatever it is, I like to have them on because who knows, someone could be watching and being in that situation right now and hear something, maybe something like maybe a military or a VA business loan or a mentor or something like that. So let's go there. So you're active duty. And have you always been business entrepreneurially minded? Is that a word? Entrepreneurial?
Sure. We'll go with that.
Okay. Have you ever been entrepreneurially minded? Have you always been that way, or what made you decide to come up with Mission Essential?
So it's kind of a funny story. I've never really been like too much of a business person, but I've always been kind of like the type of guy that won't stop until everything's done. And I don't want to sound cliche with that, but it's just kind of how it is. And that going into business, I went through the Marine Corps. I want to make that a career. It didn't really work out. I got about 6 years in and, got out. But before that 6 years came up, it was about 2 years beforehand, I got the idea. I went through Scout Sniper and Doc, and, they had us get all this bullshit on the packing list, and this kind of like ties into what we are soon to be within the next few months, actually. And you'll start seeing us progress with that. But there's all this shit on the packing list. And you're scrambling all around town trying to find it, all the different places, because you need specific lithium batteries that you can only get at Walmart or Target, whatever it is. And then you have to go to like Extreme Outfitters to go get a certain protractor, Ranger Joe.
They put this all on you, like you need this gear, go find it.
I mean, that's usually how it is whenever you go through an indoc. You have a gear list and you fulfill it.
Can I tell you something real quick? You guys are gonna hate me. Air Force, right? So we get to our training unit and flight training, and they're like, okay, here's your list of things that you need, right? And it's just like you're talking about, right? And they go over to supply. It's like a PX, but civilians can go there. It's just for deploying, so you walk in there. They have these grocery carts. And you walk around this store and they're like, Benchmade knife, here you go. Aviator sunglasses, here you go. Pair of boots, flight suits, flight gloves, flight hat, Nomex gloves, Nomex suit, underwear, heavy, and they go through, and when you walk out, they ring it all up, and then you just walk out the door. It was cool. So basically what I'm getting at is that was really fucking easy for us. It must have been. Sounds like it was a little more brutal for you guys.
Yeah, and they do that whenever you're in your basic boot camp level. They make sure you get all the gear that you need. But whenever you start going to like some of these more advanced schools or you go to assessment selection, it's on you to get the gear list. They're not going to provide it for you. 9 times out of 10, they're not. So there's some things they will, but especially for like Scout Snipers, it's one of the least funded groups.
Yeah,
around, so
they just graduated a recon sniper class, first of its kind. 10 Marines to become recon snipers. Look it up. Just saw it.
Yeah, and we actually supplied their entire class with their data books.
Awesome.
Their goals manuals.
That's pretty cool. So yes, I'm sorry. Keep going with your story. I keep interrupting.
One of their instructors hit us up about 2 months ago, or 2 months before it actually started, and he said, "Hey, can you make a product for us?" And we said, "Yeah, sure, but if you want all this customization on it, it's gonna cost a decent amount. It might take a little bit." Luckily, we still had Quantico books from the Quantico schoolhouse, and there was only 10 students going through, so it's super easy. We sent that over. They got those, and then at the end, we actually got them challenge coins specifically made for them. 1TAC21, the class number, and then on the back side our company logo.
And what you're speaking about too is I don't know how you pronounce it. THUL.
It's Tholes.
Say it again.
It's Tholes.
Okay. So it's these Tholes books.
These right here.
And basically you saw, we had a name for it flying. I don't remember. It was like Scud or I forget what we call it. We had something similar like that. But you saw a need, you saw a need and you filled that need, and you did it well because obviously your business is doing well. So when did you figure out? Because I looked and it was like the legendary Thul's books. So like this is something that you guys obviously know about, and they just didn't have them, or how did that happen?
So I remember whenever I was like coming up through the ranks, I saw a lot of my seniors, they had them, and they used to be standard issue. So
Okay.
they took care of everyone back whenever the Marine Corps had funding during wartime.
Right.
That ended around 2011. So I mean, you'd see like some staff sergeants, maybe some gunnies walking around with them, but none of the junior guys had them. And so that kind of like started turning the gears. And I was like, where can you get these at?
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously not hard. You look it up on the internet, you find it. And I got in contact with the owner of the company. So I started talking to him. He kind of liked the way I perceived, the way I thought. And I said, can I sell some of my store? Because Mission Essential Gear is to have all the essential gear in one spot,
Right.
which is our ultimate goal that we're working towards right now. And it kind of took off. I mean, me and him clicked. He made me partner after I think 3 months of working with him. We ended up getting, government order after government order after government order, all these custom books made for units all across, not just Marine Corps, but we had Navy SEAL orders, we had AFSOC actually. So we kind of just took it and ran, and from that point, it just worked out, and now I advertise it like crazy because no one really knows about it, or didn't at least, and now you can't really open your phone without seeing an ad every, maybe 20 ads or so.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we're spending about 10 to 15,000 a month on advertising right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I was on your Instagram. You got like 25,000 followers. So you reached a niche. I forget how to pronounce that. Yes. And that's probably the most important thing. Now, this all started on a gamble with you too, right? So you first were selling Chinese whoobies.
Yeah. So Perseverance Survival, and I'm not going to take the credit away from them. They were the first ones to ever do it.
Okay.
I just thought they were ridiculously expensive, so I started looking into Chinese manufacturers. So I was buying them from China at $13 a pop. We ended up buying, I think it was 500 total hoodies, maybe 700 the very first go around, and they sold like crazy. We did a little bit of advertising. I think I maybe spent about $500 in advertising that fall of 2019, and they just went like crazy.
Wow!
So it worked out.
Did you have any idea? Like, how did you know that? Because I remember two or 3 years ago, those were huge. Everyone was wearing them, right? It's from the liner of
poncho liner, basically.
Yeah, poncho liner. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they were massive. So did you just say, hey, do you know what? Strike when the iron's hot, or how did you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw the iron was hot, and so that's why I went with it. But I had to stop because you start seeing some of these bigger companies like Black Rifle, Zero, and like 9-line grunt style. All these guys are doing them now. So I got a little bit of a squeeze of the juice, and it worked out for me. Went from there and got some cash out of it, raised some capital. And now I'm just doing what I want with the company.
Yeah, and you don't have to with t-shirts, with fashion, I guess you would call it. You kind of have to stay ahead of the curve, right? You've got to have people that are researching it. Have people find out what people are buying. But with your company, with the stuff that you're selling, you just have to know what. Like, I guess what I'm getting at is you have to maybe have a contact in the new what do we call it? Recon Sniper class. What do these guys need? Make sure you have it, and boom, right? You don't care what Joe Schmo down the road or what the 11-year-old tweens are wearing. It's all about what you need as a military. And with your background with infantry, it probably makes it a little bit easier too, right?
Absolutely, it does. So, I kind of understand what the needs of the job are. I'm not saying I'm a subject matter expert, but I know the job.
Yeah.
And, I know what these guys need. And that's why we're working on, our whole line right now. As far as creating that mission essential gear, our own permanent map pins used for land navigation. We have our own protractors that are prototyped right now, so we're testing those out, laser engraved. We're creating just a culmination of stuff that the guys will need, and we're going to make it available through GSA because we just got contracted with them. And so the next stop for us now is a few federal bids and maybe.
What's GSA?
Government Services Association, I think it is.
Okay.
Basically what that is that you remember how you were talking about the shopping cart where you're like, I'm going to get some of this, some of this, some of this.
Air Force. Yeah.
We're automatically within that realm. So we become standard issue to an extent.
Okay. Man, that's awesome. So, doing a podcast and doing all this stuff, I talk to a lot of people, and so many people have business ideas. I hear them all the time. Only a few come to fruition, right? So somebody have a business idea. Only a few are actually going to come into fruition where you're going to start. And of those, a small percentage actually makes it. What do you think the difference is between the person who thinks of an idea versus the person who launches the idea versus the person who launches a successful idea? Told you we're gonna get deep.
No, I like that, because you can give 3 fish to 3 different people and they can do 3 different things with it, So are you going to eat those 3 fish, or are you going to use those as bait and create more fish? So
right.
There's so much more that you can do with the same thing that everyone else is given, and it's all about how you acquire. So for me, it's advertising. I'm going to consistently grow, and it's shown. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to be cocky about it, but it has. We've gone from making $50, $100 a day to $2,000-$3,000 a day.
Yeah.
And it's all been just off of this one wager and just playing the cards right and kind of seeing how the market's moving. So that's how I see that. You have to play cards right.
It's risk taking too. Some people are very risk adverse. Some people are okay with it. Now, one thing that I think is unique about or maybe not, maybe there's a story you have there, but what seems to be unique about your business plan is that you saw it, you developed it, and it succeeded. Where I think of the Michael Jordan quote, I've missed 80% of the shots I've taken, or 85% of the shots I've taken. So part of risk is failing. How do you prepare for that? And if you do fail, how do you suck that up and continue, keep pushing forward without being defeated, without losing? I mean, look at Abraham Lincoln. Lost like every single election he ever went for until he ran for president. And then they're like, okay, yeah, you can be president. So yeah, how do you face that potential to fail and just keep going and keep going?
I fail almost every single day, man. Every single day. Whether it's like we're talking about me going through this EMT course right now, it's kicking my ass because, learning medical terminology, and I'm sure you already know this as a paramedic, it's not easy, and associating those terms with how things work. So, it's all about just waking up and doing it the next day, no matter how you feel. Some days I go to bed with 2-3 hours of sleep. I just have to keep going the next day. You can also get prescribed Adderall. That's what I did. But anyway,
we call it Datterall in the medical world. Exactly. Datterall.
and that's actually like what's keeping me going with this EMT course, because I'm also full time in college as well through Texas Tech. So I'm doing that, running the business, and then running this. What was I about to say? Running the business, Texas Tech, EMT, and being a full time firefighter. It's just kind of overwhelming. So
you also fit a very common, another thing we bring up a lot here is the veteran. I talked about this last week, right? My therapist, I think it's so funny I have to say that. My parole officer, my therapist said, go out one day, lie under a tree with a hammock and just lay there all day. Just lays the whole day away. Don't think of doing anything, just relax. And she said, if you can do that, then you have no problems, right? You have no issues that need to be taken care of. Veterans, like you lay on that hammock, you hear a lawnmower going, you're like, shit, I better go mow my lawn. Or you smell paint, you're like, I really should paint my garage. Or, you're constantly, and it's like, I mean, business school, EMT, firefighter, running your own business, myself, EMT, firefighter, medical school. It's just, there's always something that you have to do. And it's, I mean, I know it's not unique to the military, but why do you think that is? Why do you find that we have to just keep doing?
It's just honestly how we're ingrained, man. We start going through the ranks and there's always something on our plate that we have to do, unless you're a grunt in Afghanistan and you're just sitting around dipping and, playing rock throw, just doing a little, but, you're always doing something. I remember going into work and, I'd see Gunny's board, and it's just like, all right, here's the taskers for today. Let's get everything done. And it's just overwhelmingly, placed within the day.
Yeah.
You don't get off to like maybe 1900 at night, and then you just repeat at 05:30 at PT the next day. The
in officer candidate school, that you had same thing. You had a list of what you had to get done during the day, and it was purposely more than anybody could do. There's no way you could get all that done, but you were required to do it. And it was like, what ended up happening was that's where they kind of instilled teamwork. If you needed this done, okay, Joe's really good at that, so he's going to do that for everybody. You're going to go do everybody's laundry. You're going to do, and then we kind of just split it up. And then you actually, I remember sitting there in bed first night of OCS, and I'm like, it's impossible. How am I supposed to graduate? I know they're graduating people from here. The attrition rate isn't horrible in the Air Force. I'm like, how the hell are we going to do this? And then you just figure it out. And I think they know that. They know that we're resilient. And that's kind of why we seek out things like the military, high intensity, high risk, and the ability to lead, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And you just gotta roll with it. And that's the biggest thing about it. If you're not rolling with it and you're not just taking it one day at a time, it's going to crush you.
Are you ever satisfied?
I am. Every day I take appreciation, and both through faith and just personal. I take appreciation for everything I've been given at this current point, and I never look at things that I have and have jealousy or whatever, So you have to have satisfaction at some point, because if you don't, you're just going to work yourself to death. Nothing's ever going to be satisfied for you. And yeah, you may grow a giant multi-million-dollar company, but you may not have the hottest wife, and you may not have the most money. And it's just going to continually grow and grow and grow until you're in a constant state of depression. You can't do that to yourself. You have to take a moment, smell the roses around you, and be grateful for what you have, and then keep going, keep conquering.
See, I one of the reasons why I do this show is because I learn something every time I interview someone. Because honestly, it's like, oh, I got all this shit that I got to figure out in my own brain. I'm just going to interview people and take a little bit here and there. Yeah, just take a little bit here and there. One thing that I can't, it's not being satisfied, right? I got a beautiful family, great job,
great dog.
A great dog. I've got a lot of good things, but at the end of the day, I'm like, God damn it, I could have done more. Or what else could I have done? And I'm trying to not have that. I'm trying to, because I think you can have a healthy level of personal criticism, but you also can have an unhealthy level. And that's what you're talking about right there. So you said, it's your faith that helps bring you through that. And I think, and I always get, especially in medicine, people kind of give me weird looks. Meditation, breathing, and yoga get me through a lot of it.
Yeah, I do the same thing, actually. So I try to practice yoga when I can, but if you're strapped on time, you're strapped on time.
That's true. That's what I do. I do it in my office. I close my office door. My secretary's like, "What are you doing in there?" And it's probably, of everything I've ever done besides talk therapy and all that stuff, I would say meditation and yoga is far ahead of anything else. Especially the fact I'm in medicine. I know my shoulders are garbage. I've prolonged, is that the word I'm looking for? I've delayed put off surgery for my shoulders at least over the last 10 years. There were 2 points where I was like, I got to get surgery. And then yoga, I swear to God, it just opens things up.
What's that yoga move where you just kind of lay down on your bed?
It's called sleeping.
And then just, okay.
Downward dog is like, you get that down and man, it helps out.
Yeah, because it also helps to promote a blood into certain areas of the body that doesn't get copious amounts. And I'm sure you can talk more on that, but it's helping promote circulation. And I don't want to sit here and say something I don't know, because this guy does. But
it's fine. And right now you're studying for EMT, just to kind of like just check off the box, something else while you're in the fire department. So I guess. Let's go down there, right? So you obviously have Mission Essential Gear. It's a successful company. You're kicking ass with that. What if I were to introduce you? What would I say? How would I introduce you? This is entrepreneur. He's a firefighter. What are you?
I'm just a guy trying to be a dude.
I get that answer a lot. I
like it. I like it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I try to be a dude.
I don't want to take that mindset where it's like, hey, this is this great CEO, this is this, badass paramedic, firefighter, whatever it is at that time. I don't want to like take any titles or anything. I'm just a dude. I'm just doing dude things. Yeah,
because dude, sitting at a desk all day typing on. Now, listen, if you're supporting your family and you're eating shit for it, like you're just sitting at a desk and life sucks, there's honor in that, right? Because you're doing it for someone, and I get that. I just I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth. At the same time, I don't get it because I couldn't do it. Like if I had to sit and just crunch numbers all day, I don't even know what
I have a hard time getting out of bed knowing what the hell I'm going to make for dinner. So now throw numbers and shit at me. So I know as jarheads, sometimes we have that little mentality. We know we're stupid. I could not figure my way out to get to here. So numbers are not my thing.
So I want to ask you something there too. I saw that you work with a lot of veterans. There's two things. I want to talk about your I want to say VSO, but your what do you call that? Your volunteer work or whatever.
Volunteer.
I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about again for people who are listening that might want to start their own business. You work with veterans in your. I guess the question is, do you prefer to have veterans work for you? Would you mind civilians? Do you think that there's a benefit for having veterans over civilians? If you kind of get what I'm asking.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I think ensuring that veterans in need are taken care of is a good way how to look at it. But I don't necessarily want to hire only veterans. I want to make sure that I'm hiring people that they want to be there, they have initiative, they have purpose.
Sure,
they're not going to sit there and be working with no initiative. So if you can do the job, I'll hire you. You don't have to be a vet. But if you're a veteran in need, there's never a question about it. I'll try and help you the best I can. But if you suck at your job, I'll try to mentor you the best I can, but I'll have to let you go at some point.
I think veterans in general. So I'm big on criticism, and I know that sounds negative, but I don't think it is by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, I criticize myself all day long. But if you can criticize a veteran and his job performance, and they're so used to it, right? That's what every year you go through your stupid EPR, OPR reports, and they tear apart everything you did. And you can take that and you can learn from it. You can become a better person, better whatever job. I think veterans do really well with that. I find, because I work with all civilians, I find that there is a fine line you have to walk, because you're always so close to offending someone when it's not personal, right? It's not personal at all. I just want you to unfuck yourself and get the job done. You know what I mean? But it's very tricky to do and to walk that, I guess, in the civilian versus the.
It's actually funny you say that too, because right now a lot of my course load in college is human resource development, because I mean that's a big part of business.
It's important.
I'm almost learning how to be a human again after I got out. So it's very important to address those needs that people have, make sure everyone's treated equally. And I'm glad that I got to the point where I am in college learning this stuff, because I probably wasn't the most equal opportunity guy about 2-3 years ago as a infantry sergeant, So that it's definitely good. I recommend everyone take an HR class if they have the desire to go, the business route, or even if they're just going to be an employee in a big corporation, learn those ethics. Make sure you're treating everyone with a pretty good sense of purpose, and treat everyone as if they have a purpose.
Good answer. Yeah, it's important. Something I didn't even think of. If I run a business, it'll go under within 10 minutes because I'll just scream at everyone and run out the door.
Right.
Jeremy, get it right over there. Come on, what are you doing?
Saying.
Yeah, there's actually a coffee company. I can't say the name, but there's a pretty big coffee company out there that has had quite a few equal opportunity claims and lawsuits. So anyone that is a better entrepreneur that's watching this, I highly recommend that you take ethics. Not that one. No, not that one.
It's not 22 Sierra
It's
coffee.
not 22 Sierra
Dark
coffee.
humor coffee.
Yeah, it's
So-
not there. You can get it over to reverendwarriors.com. Look up Dark Humor Coffee. See that plug? That's how you do it as a pro. I think
Keep that right there. Yeah.
there you go. I think Jeremy had a question for you.
So,
What's up, buddy?
given your position where you're at now, do you still find yourself having limitations or struggles adjusting, knowing that your mindset, not only as a jarhead, because a fellow jarhead, I still struggle, even sitting here, do you still find yourself having kind of moments where you gear back to being a Marine or being in that mindset compared to where you're at now?
It's funny you say that. Not really, honestly. I think I more so like miss the job in itself more than anything. And, I find myself itching to like go hit up a National Guard recruiter to see if I can go like 11 Bravo or something. But, because I've thought about it a lot, do I really want to go back down that route? But
It's common.
But as far as like the workplace, man, no, I keep pretty calm and civil. And I think a part of that has to do with, all my corporate relationships with a lot of my partners and clients, so it kind of has just changed by default through the years, I say through the years. I've only been out of the Marine Corps for about 6 months, but, I've been working in this business for about almost 2 years now.
Yeah, well, speaking to a lot of business people, I can tell just by your answers and the way you're speaking about it, you're squared away. You're going to be extremely successful in the business world. So I don't know, whatever that's worth. Sully said that. So
you could as he sits here, because when I got out, it was go now, etc. You're very, very articulate, very forceful, and he's just like, fuck it, it'll get done. I'll make sure it gets done, but I'm not going to yell. Shit's going to get done.
Yeah, I need. So tell me about your philanthropic. I can't say words tonight. Philanthropic. Your philanthropy work. Your philanthropic.
Philanthropic.
Yeah, because you had on there that you send out care packages and stuff, and it's basically on your dime. Tell us about that.
So we try to send out as many care packages as we can. I mean, this last year is scarce, man. We only sent out like 50 something, but the year before that, I mean, hundreds upon hundreds. We try to do what we can to improve morale. And that's kind of why we started this nonprofit, ATS Group Incorporated. It was originally owned by the original owner of Tholes, and it's a nonprofit used to combat the opioid crisis in the North Country. That was his goal. It didn't really work out for him. And I asked him, I was like, hey, how about we make some changes in there? We hit up the IRS, change the mission statement, and then we make a joint nonprofit together that supports law enforcement, first responders, and military. So that's kind of what we're gearing at with the military. We're going to help support them through, the care packages as well as the transition process. And that's going to be trying to get guys into fire and law enforcement. So what we're going to do is we're going to assemble a team of volunteers. And right now we already have over 20 committed.
Oh, wow.
That will be an online support group. And we already have like our own, if you use Google Workspace, you know about this, it's called Currents. It's basically like your own private Facebook. And what we do is, every time a request comes in, because that's how we're going to do it, we're going to have a form. And a request comes in saying, my name's so-and-so, this is my situation, and I want to go down this route when I get out, whether it's private military contracting, law enforcement, fire. The care packages, that's one part of it, but this is the main part of it. And so once that request comes in, someone within that pool has the same experience, whether they were, feeling that same exact point, 6 months out of the military, they had absolutely no credentials. Hey, I need to go get my EMT basic. I need to go get my fire 1-2 hazmat. All right, sweet. I got a job in the state of North Carolina or wherever they're trying to go. And so they kind of like help gear them and get them into academies, get them into courses, and get the framework ready for them as they're getting out. Because as I was getting out, TRS, Transition Readiness Seminar, didn't give you anything as far as, fire or law enforcement. Those are two giant sectors that a lot of guys go to once they get out. So we're going to try and fill that void. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that are going to step up as it does get bigger. They're going to be helping these guys out. And so
Nice.
that's kind of what we're doing with that. And to kind of kickstart it, we actually have a fundraiser. We haven't announced it yet, but I guess I'm announcing it now. Have you ever heard of 75 Hard by chance?
No.
75 Hard. Yeah, it's a challenge is what it is. It's 75 days straight where you work out twice a day, 45 minutes a day. One has to be outside, and then the other one can be inside or outside, whatever. And this is for 75 days straight, every single day. You're working out twice a day for 45 minutes. You're drinking a gallon of water. You're drinking no alcohol. This is the hardest one for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then you're reading 10 pages of self-help, whether that's, a business book, whether that's a textbook for school. You're reading 10 pages a day to better yourself. And then on top of that, you're taking progress pictures every single day. And so what we're going to add into that with our own little twist is we're going to have 3 citations. So one's going to be a military citation. One's going to be a fire line of death citation, and then law enforcement, just because they're coming so often and a lot of people aren't noticing that. So what I'm going to do for one of my 45 minutes is I got this vintage hammer, sledgehammer right here. And what I'm going to do is I've lost a lot of brothers along the way. So I'm going to have dog tags stapled into it. And this is going to be the sledgehammer that I carry with me every morning at 05. Can't really see it in the camera, but I have my rock.
No, we're just losing you. Hold on. You got a really bad
every morning at 05, 3 months.
Your internet slowed down just a little bit, but I think
now?
we got the gist of it. Yeah, we do. It's just a little bit of a lag. Where can folks find out about this? Like if they were to, someone just wrote, nope, never mind on the comments. That's why I'm laughing. But if folks are interested in 75 Hard or whatever else you have going on, where can they find out about it?
So we're going to be launching most of this through our social media. So you can find out through our Facebook and our Instagram. And that's where we're going to be launching the details about the event. We're going to go on Facebook and create an event for it so we can see all the details behind it. And then I already have a team of volunteers that are working on the citations. We're working in an app so that way all you have to do is download the app. You can see all 3 citations per day along with the tasks.
Yeah, I think we're losing you as far as your internet goes, and we may, you're kind of there. Anyways, well, if you can hear me, yeah, we can a little bit. So, all right, yeah, Jeremy just put up your Facebook page there. Head over to Mission Essential Gear over there. Head over to megearco.com. Did I get that right? megearco.com.
Yes, sir. That's it.
Yeah, so head over there to learn more about Mission Essential Gear. Man, I really appreciate you coming on the show. That was, like I said, I speak to a lot of entrepreneurs, but you seem to, I don't know if it's innate, if you can just be an innate businessman, but you have it down, and I think you're going to do really well. And we'll stay in touch because you're right there. I mean, on, what is it, the 10th? We just talked about this. The April 10th, yeah. There's a Silky Psych. You going to go?
I'm actually going to be on shift at the fire department that day. Matthew was talking about that. But I will be at the Wilmington one, so I will be there for that.
Nice. I'm going to make that. When is that, Jeremy? Do you know the Wilmington hike?
Motherfucker.
You should just be ready to go.
I pulled it down. I think it was June 12th.
That's too hot. No. Find me a nice September, 72 degrees, 8 miles or less. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, man.
Here in Wilmington, so
it'll be nice. We'll see you down there. So you know what? I'm going to make it right now. I'm going to say this. I promise to be at the Wilmington hike this year.
You promised, Jackson.
But this time I mean it. And I will see Matt. Don't call him Matt. Matthew James Reeves, and I will see Reagan down there. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on the show. Awesome information. We'll have you on again at some point because, well, you're local. We have to get you to do. We're going to start having in studio interviews, and that'll be a lot more fun.
Yeah, let's definitely do that.
Yeah. Plus, I was a firefighter too at one point. So there's kind of. Are you still a rookie? Are you still a rookie firefighter, or when?
Yeah, that's the reason I'm not saying any names. So I'm not telling you where I work.
Yeah, because you're probably leading shit.
Awesome, man. Done with Proby next month. So
Okay, cool. Nice. Well, congratulations on that ahead of time. What's he say? We heard
it. Witness to solid promising.
That's true. That's true.
Thanks,
I promise
Adrienne.
I will be down there, Adrienne. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on. And I will see you at Wilmington.
All right, sounds good.
megearco.com.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, you guys take care. See you.
Take care,
Thanks.
buddy.
I want to end off with this video. Do you see at the very bottom of the note says "Want to laugh"?
Oh, I gotta bring that back up because it said it was for you.
Okay, so while you're looking that up, everybody, thanks for joining the show tonight. Sorry about the beginning. Whatever.
That's my fault. That's me for not being here. That's my
No. The beginning of this was a little, but whatever. I don't really care. Late in the day, what are you going to do? The whole point of this is to keep veterans from committing suicide. So as we said during the telethon, if you're not calling and you're not connecting and you're not bringing people to hikes, if you're not going on hikes, then you want veterans to die. I think that's what we came up with is the answer. So call, text, write, email, social media, Facebook people, do all that crazy stuff. Get in contact with folks you served with and bring them to a hike and laugh and hug and cry and sing and dance. And this is called, so in the world of broadcasting, I'm doing this, and this is called stretch it out, stretch it out. Okay, press pause. You don't want to, okay, we're going to end it with this.
Oh, I fucked it up.
No, it's working.
There we go.
This is good.